Hey everybody, Aaron here again with Fleetistics to do part two of our FAQ series for GPS tracking and telematics. I'm answering some of the common questions that we get to try to give some clarity to some of the things that you may be getting from different companies. With this information, you'll be able to ask better questions and perhaps go read through some of the I don't want to say misleading information, but maybe information that isn't as complete or as accurate as you need it in order to make a good business decision with the GPS tracking technology that you want to go with in your fleet. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, why do prices vary? So why do some tracking companies charge, $25, $28 and other companies charge 10, right? We have systems that are 10, 15, 20, 25, and 28. We've got this entire spectrum covered, so I'm pretty well qualified to answer that. And the bottom line is the amount of development that goes into it, the amount of additional integrated services that go into it. Like Google Maps aren't cheap, right? So when Google Mapping is integrated into the platform, then there's got to be a fee for that. And when you look at a $10 dots on a map system, that system is going to be relatively stagnant. The reporting is going to be very simple. The mapping may not include Google Maps. It may just be like an OpenStreetMap platform. But if that's all you need, then $10 a month is the perfect fit. On the other end of that spectrum is a high-end solution like Geotab. And if you're an enterprise class fleet and you are making a long-term investment in a platform, knowing that you are buying into a very innovative, constantly evolving ecosystem is hugely important. And we can talk to you very clearly about what Geotab has done today and kind of the evolution of the platform and the technology to help you understand how an investment at this particular price point on the higher end is going to be a good investment. The last thing that you want to do is buy something that's too small. It's like buying a car that you buy a smart car and you turn around and you need a cargo van. Well, you can't give the smart car back, right? You're going to have to sell at a loss. The same thing goes with GPS tracking and telematics. If you get into the wrong system at the beginning, you can't just automatically transfer that in most cases to something that's much more capable. You can typically downscale to a certain extent, but you can't typically upscale, especially across platforms. That becomes very challenging and very costly. So prices vary. There's a lot of expensive back-end development. There's speed and security issues that have to go into these platforms, and then there's the amount of data too. How much data are these devices transmitting? Is it an update rate that's once every 2 minutes or every 5 seconds? Or is it video? Video can be very expensive, especially if you have a lot of exceptions. You might eat through a data plan in no time at all, and then you start getting into overages because the cellular carriers will not let you have an unlimited data plan. Those days are out, right? So those are some of the things that go into varying costs. The next question is, how long should it take to recover my investment? That really depends on how well you run your fleet, right? So typically it's less than 90 days, and that means the hardware itself, as well as the monthly subscription service, you can get your money back in less than 90 days, and that will be for the entire first year. Obviously, year two, you don't have the equipment investment again. Sometimes you can roll the equipment into the monthly service, and then it might take a little bit longer. But it all works itself out. I've seen businesses that have had an ROI actually on the announcement of implementing GPS tracking. It wasn't even in the vehicles yet, and a couple guys they left just because they were stealing from the company, and the company was about to drop the hammer, and they had no options, so they left, and they actually never replaced them, and they saved $10,000 a month in overtime. So their ROI was achieved for their entire company by these three guys leaving, which worked itself out just beautifully. So very rarely happens, but in that case, it was a beautiful thing. So the typical advertised rate for ROI is about $2,500 per year. Your tracking systems can run with equipment and service between $250 and $500 per vehicle per year. So you're saving money well over top of what you're investing. We actually have an ROI calculator, which you can see on the page here, but also we'll put a link in the description so you can link out to it. And you can type in your labor rates, your miles driven, and some of those types of things, and you can calculate what your potential ROI is, and then you can change the numbers again and submit again, and see how that looks for you. The next question is, what areas can I expect to see improvement? And you'd be surprised if you fully go after this, right? If you really bring the technology and you really invest in looking at the data and keeping data as part of your business, just like you meet to discuss your P&L and profitability and expenses and material purchases and things like that. If you make the GPS tracking data part of that process, you will continue to see improvements all over. And this is hugely important when you're testing technology to bring in HR, your legal team, your risk, your safety, your operations, your sales. Obviously, fleet and maintenance are all part of this, because the data that is in there can have an impact in all those areas of your business. And the ones that really get well above $2,500 in ROI are the ones that use it to verify payroll, that help combat legal issues, that bring down accidents and reduce workers' comp and things of that nature. So you can expect to see improvements all over the place. You'll get some very quick return on investment in like managing fuel costs. You'll see people slow down. You'll see less idle time. You'll see people not driving so much for personal stuff during company time. So all of that cuts down on the very simple, obvious things like fuel. You should get your money back just on fuel savings very, very quickly. Everything else is kind of that big bonus that you can get if you want to put the time and effort into it. All right. And next we have, what have other fleet managers experienced in ROI? This kind of continuation of that first question. I think I'm going to answer this with making the wrong decision can be detrimental, not only to your organization, but to your career as well. So taking the time and investing in the pilot process is hugely important. And piloting is just simply, hey, we'll send you some equipment, you plug it in, you work with the business analyst, and you really kind of figure out where you want to go. One of the things that we highly recommend to customers is, when you come to us, know your top 3 issues before you pick up the phone. And we can focus with you on resolving those top 3 issues. And then once those issues are resolved, we can move on to the next group of issues. But if you haven't got organized enough to really understand where your pain and suffering is, what's costing you the most money, whether it be accidents or low productivity or things like that. And I came into this business in the pest control business. So if you are a pest control operator and you want to talk about GPS tracking, call me. I understand termite inspections and perimeter service and application rates and flow rates and things like that. I can walk you through all different types of ways to save money in the pest control business. But it's really about what you're going to put into it before you make the investment that will tell you how far your ROI can go. And we can help you with that because we've been doing this for over 20 years. So that concludes part 2 of our frequently asked questions videos. We'll put a link in the show notes or the description so you can watch the first video. And if you like the content, hit that like button and subscribe. We're going to be working to bring you more content. We've got one more video in the FAQ series, so be looking out for that. And we'll see you soon. Give us a call at Fleetistics if we can help you with anything. Thank you and have a great day.